Our top story this Monday morning, substance abuse is the single largest cause of homelessness among single adults. Now, that's according to the United States Conference of Mayors. And without a social support network, recovering from addiction can be pretty challenging. But sometimes all it takes is a chance meeting in the unlikeliest of places. Our Itay Hod joins us this morning with more. Itay, good morning.
Good morning, Melvin. In June, I met Richard Edick, a homeless musician, while he was in line for a shower at a community clinic in Hollywood. But Richard left before we could finish the interview, so the story never aired. A few weeks later, as I was about to delete the footage, Richard contacted me and told me his story had taken an unexpected turn. It's been 4 long years since Richard Edick has played a guitar.
Over the years, I've had a mountain of guitars, and they've all gone to the dope man or the pawn shop.
To fully appreciate this moment, you first need to know how we met. This is Richard 4 weeks earlier, strung out on drugs and waiting for a shower at the Saban Community Clinic in Hollywood.
I came out here to get a better way of life.
Homeless for nearly 4 years, he had just arrived in Los Angeles from Florida. His mom had died, and he'd fallen into a deep depression. His dream was to become a musician.
A rock star, right here on Hollywood Boulevard.
We didn't know it at the time, but he was coming off 22 days on meth, a binge that would land him in the hospital just days later.
You know, I was in a bad place. I was ready to kill myself.
After years of teetering on the edge, Richard had finally hit rock bottom. But then, a moment of fate changed everything. Discharged from the hospital, Richard made a beeline to a rehab facility, only to find it was closed. Dead set on being first in line the next morning, he found a spot behind a dumpster where he planned to spend the night. It was at that moment, he said, an angel appeared.
I saw this gentleman, looking like he was settling down for the night beside our building. So I just asked him if he was okay. How long have you been here?
Turns out the woman he was talking to was the CEO of the clinic behind those closed doors. One quick phone call, and Richard was in.
To accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can.
In just 4 weeks, the transformation has been nothing short of miraculous.
I'm playing my guitar again.
This is Richard now. He's sober and healthy, and he's gained 30 pounds.
Still here, still doing okay, huh?
We asked that CEO to come back to that clinic to see his progress. She hadn't seen Richard since that fateful night.
Saving my life. You.
I said it was just a
Divine intervention?
Divine intervention.
I've said that so many times.
I'm glad I walked out when I did.
Glad you did too. Thank you.
Florida. I grew up in Central Florida.
Curious about his own progress, Richard asked to see the video I shot of him when we first met. What goes through your mind when you see that?
How skinny I look. How bad it is with the eye drooping.
It was that interview 4 weeks earlier, he said, that made him finally want to get clean.
I didn't want it to end like that. That was the last the world saw of me. That's not what I want.
Now music is once again back in his life. His greatest hit? That brand new song in his heart. Richard is now living in an apartment in Compton. He's 4 months sober, and he's working part-time as an electrician. He hopes to one day become a counselor so he can help others overcome substance abuse.
We love this story so much, Itay.
Yeah,
this
me
is so
too.
amazing.
Yeah,
Because we were just saying, a lot of times people don't realize there is help out there and it's free.
It's free.
Yeah, they do God's work, and he really credits her with saving his life.
So tell us how you met him.
Yeah, so this is great. I love this is one of these stories where the backstory is almost as interesting as the story itself. I went to the clinic to interview the doctor, one of the physician assistants there.
Early in the summer.
Yeah, and as I was waiting for her, I sort of struck up a conversation with him, followed him around for about 20 minutes, and I told him he was waiting in line for the shower. I said, don't leave before I get a quick soundbite from you
after you leave, so I have an ending to my story. He left before I could get that part of the interview. I really had given up on this footage.
You deleted it on your phone.
I had actually deleted it off my phone, and then he messaged me on Facebook saying, I have an update for you. And the first thing I did was look at my phone and go, oh my God, thank God, it's still in the trash bin. And I was able to recover it and go back and interview him, and what an incredible
Man.
It's
story.
a beautiful story.
That's
Yeah.
right. Photo trash bin. Say today again.
Exactly.
Can't tell you how much that happens around here. Itay, great
Thanks,
story.
Itay.
Thank you.
Yeah, very inspiring.